We'd been living deep in the marshy heart of the Congo Basin for about 6 months now. Me, my dad, and my mom. Both of them are conservation biologists studying the migration patterns of forest elephants. Sounds noble, right? Except their research was a little, let's say, unconventional. Most of their attention wasn't on the animals, but I kid you not, their dung. Jasper, come take a look at this specimen. Fresh and fibrous, Mom called out one morning, elbow deep in elephant poop like it was a diamond mine. I'm good, Mom. Maybe after breakfast, I replied, trying to keep my last meal down. While they were collecting samples and tracking digestion patterns, gross, I had my sights set on something way cooler. The emerald phantom, a mythical beetle species said to shimmer like polished gems and move like shadows. Locals say spotting it brings lifelong luck. I say it's the closest thing to a real-life Pokemon. To get closer to it, I trained myself to move silently in the wild. No boots, no rustling, barefoot like a ninja with a magnifying glass. I even got so good at it, I once stood frozen for 15 whole minutes because I thought I spotted a green blur near a mangrove root. Freeze, cobra! I hissed one time, paralyzed in fear. Jasper, my mom squinted at me. That's a twig. You really need to wear your glasses. Yeah, I had a slight issue with forgetting those, frequently. Anyway, the days were adventurous and a little bizarre, but the nights, that's when the stories came out. Terrifying ones. Especially about a creature they called Mvuvi wa Damu, translated loosely to the blood fisher. According to old hunters, it was a man once, red-haired, sharp-eyed, but he'd tasted human flesh and now wandered the forest, possessed with strength equal to an entire platoon. Some said over 80 men. Sometimes I'd wake up drenched in sweat, heart racing from dreams of that demon calling my name, dragging my parents away. I knew it wasn't real, at least I hoped it wasn't. Then came Blaze. He showed up like a scene from a movie, driving a matte black Jeep that looked like it had survived 3 wars. In just 20 minutes, he set up a camp that looked more like a luxury pop-up hotel. Solar panels, filtered water showers, and some kind of robotic drone that followed him around. Jasper, you gotta check out this guy's setup, Dad said, beaming. I'm trying. I squinted, kinda hard without my glasses. Blaze came over that evening, tipping his wide-brimmed explorer's hat. He was tall, muscular, and wore thick glasses that looked uncannily similar to mine. We nearsighted gotta stick together, he joked, flashing a grin. My parents invited him for dinner, and he accepted, but oddly, he didn't touch any of our food. Strict diet, he said, tossing together some kind of herbal stew from a jar I swear was labeled in Russian. Y'all eat like this every day? No wonder you're fit, he said, giving me an odd look like he was calculating our protein content or something. But the weirdest part came when the wind knocked off his hat, his hair. It was flaming red, like the legends. My stomach twisted. Could Blaze be the blood fisher? He refused our food, asked about our diet, and seemed a little too curious about our whereabouts. But surely, this was paranoia, right? That night, as he laughed with my parents, I couldn't stop staring at his teeth. Were his canines sharper than normal, or was I now thinking about vampires? Anyway, I blurted it out. Cannibal. Silence. Then everyone burst out laughing. Oh, Jasper, Dad chuckled. Next you'll tell us he's a werewolf too. Blaze didn't seem offended. In fact, he laughed the hardest, but something in his eyes, it lingered. The next morning, Blaze greeted me with a morning champ and a weirdly cheerful breakfast plate. Kid special just for you. I was almost 15, not 5, and kid special sounded sketchy. Later he casually mentioned, so I hear you're looking for that emerald phantom beetle. Bit of a fairy tale, no? I hated him instantly again. Who was he to say what was real or not? Unfortunately, my parents loved him. Since Blaze claimed he was studying elephants too, he officially joined our little team. That's when everything got worse. Suddenly Blaze was doing everything, helping Mom catalog samples, laughing with Dad over jungle jokes, repairing the generator before I could even get a wrench. I felt like a background character in my own family. Even my warnings fell on deaf ears. Once, Blaze led us into a swamp to find some rare burrowing spider. I warned Dad, careful. There might be snakes or crocs here. Don't worry, Jasper, Blaze said with a grin. When I was your age, I was 45. What did that even mean? He went on and on with macho jungle tales, like how he once fought off a crocodile using only a mango and a spoon. And afterward, he boasted, they started calling crocs blazodiles. I wanted to roll my eyes so hard they'd fall out. I had to do something smart. I decided to spy on Blaze. That night, I used my ninja skills and crept into his tent. Inside, I found gear way too advanced for a regular scientist. High-caliber binoculars, motion sensors, animal tranquilizers, and, most importantly, a high-powered hunting rifle. Before I could even freak out properly, I heard him coming. I dove behind a sleeping bag, barely breathing. He entered and casually cleaned his glasses. He was right there, less than a foot away. Just then, Dad called from outside. Blaze turned to leave, but stepped on something. A crunch. My heart stopped. My foot had just broken his glasses. The next day at breakfast, he acted normal. But his gaze, it sliced through me. "Morning, Jasper. Did you sleep well?" I knew he knew. Later that night, I tried to tell my parents. He's not who he says he is. I found a rifle in his tent. He's a hunter, probably after the elephants. "Jasper, come on," Mom said, clearly annoyed. "He probably carries it for protection. And why would a scientist have night vision goggles, huh? Enough. You're jealous because he's getting along with us, that's all?" I couldn't believe it. They didn't trust me. Things got worse when Mom suddenly fell terribly ill. Some jungle virus, super rare and super fast acting. Within hours, she was unconscious. I remembered a tale about the loba flower, used by locals as a cure. Dad and I rushed into the forest. While hunting for the flower, I saw something else, a shimmering green flash near a cluster of bioluminescent petals. Could it be? When we got back with the flower, Mom recovered just in time, but I couldn't shake off what I saw, that green flash. It had to be the Emerald Phantom. That evening, as we sat around the fire, Blaze leaned closer. "You know, Jasper, I've been thinking. I lost my glasses recently. Broke them, actually. Think you might know something about that?" He pulled a gun from his side. My blood turned cold. "I can't exactly drive back to camp without them," he smiled. "So I'll need your dad to come with me." Everything clicked. Blaze wasn't a scientist. He was a poacher, a hunter disguised as one of us. And he knew I knew. I looked at my dad. He nodded slightly. Then everything happened fast. Dad lunged. I kicked sand in Blaze's eyes, and somehow we wrestled the gun away. He fled into the jungle, howling like a madman. The authorities later told us Blaze had been flagged across several wildlife reserves. His real name? Kieran Maddox. Wanted in 3 countries for trafficking endangered species. We packed up the next day. My mom, finally healthy. My dad, proud. And me? I kept my glasses strapped on. But before we left, I made one last trip back to that glowing flower. And there, crawling beneath its petals, glinting like emerald fire, I found it. The Emerald Phantom. Turns out, I wasn't just pretending to be a nerd. I was a hunter all along. Only not for elephants. For truth. For beetles. And yeah, for adventure.